everybody. Happy Wednesday. Sorry, I'm a little late. My internet decided it needed to be reset, so I had to go back and reset the router. You know, it always happens 5 minutes before class. You know how it goes. So I'm getting, and you've just got me today. Tim is on his way to for Christmas, so he's gone already for a couple of days. So you just get me today. So we're going to have some fun with the scan and cut. I thought, I'm just going to do some fun stuff. I wanted to show you something that they have with the scan and cut Canvas Workspace. And hi, Teresa. And they have some really fun stuff with Canvas Workspace that and a lot of people never realize that they have all these really cute projects that are free. And so I'm just going to show you one of those free projects. I'm going to show you where to go find them. And then that way you can, if you want to make some fun stuff, a lot of them are paper crafting, but there's also vinyl and embossing and foiling, all kinds of different things. So, but I hope everybody is home safe where they will be away from the snow. Hopefully, it sounds like it's supposed to get kind of snowy here in Iowa. So I'm kind of looking forward to being in. So hello, everybody. Oh, I got people from Tennessee. Is it warmer in Tennessee than it is here? I hope. Got a couple people from Tennessee. All right. So let me turn off my banner here. And the first thing I want to do is talk about so we're going to do a little project. I'll hold up my little box. So we're going to make this little box today. And it's really fun. It's very easy. Okay. So we're going to do this. So I can go back to there we go. Back to my comments. But we're going to make this today. And we're going to cut out all the pieces. We're going to do some pretty cold. Oh, goodness. It's only in the 20s. That is pretty cool for down that further much further south. So but this was actually originally done as a foiling project. So this part of the design is actually a foiling design that they have a foiling kit. Brother does, but I didn't know if everybody had it. So I thought, well, if you needed a couple of cute little gift boxes for Christmas, you just have a few days, this would give you a chance to make this. And we're just going to draw this. So this is actually like a drawing design as well. So I thought we would use that and draw it instead of use the, hello. Yeah, Friday and a little, yeah, I know. You usually get it in Ohio. You usually get it about a day or so after we do. So I have other friends from Ohio. So people, we have weather, and then about 24 hours later, it's in Ohio. So yep, I hope you guys, we don't all have, it sounds like it might be kind of a nasty kind of Christmas holiday, so I hope not. But anyway, so we're going to make this today. And I just thought it'd be fun just to do something on with the scan and cut. But the reason I wanted to show this to you, okay, so if you give me a second, I am going to share my screen with you. And then I'm going to show you where you can go to find these designs, because there's tons of really cute free designs. All right, so let me see. I got to, second here. They changed a button, so I have to find the right button. So here's my screen share. Okay. And if you give me a second, I'm going to get a new browser window. So you should be starting to see this pretty soon. And I'm going to go to, let me get on Facebook here just to make sure that I'm seeing okay, because I can't see comments for a moment here. Give me just a second. Okay, here we go. So let me get this. All right, turn the sound down. I'll be able to see it now on my phone for a minute. But I just want to make sure you're able to see. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I like to use the Canvas Workspace program that's online. So I'm on my browser right now, and I'm going to type in canvasworkspace.brother.com, and that's where I'm going to go. If you have the software downloaded to your computer, and I'll show you that in a second, you can also go there and see these. But I've always just used this software because I still like it better. I think it's easier to use. So I'm going to click log in, and I'm just going to log into my account here. But they have all these really cute free projects. And when you log into your account, no matter either here online or on the down on the version on your computer, and I'll show you that one here too. The first window that opens up here is going to be this window with all these pictures. Okay, so these are your projects. So there's all these projects, and they're seasonal. There's a lot of paper projects. There's cutting fabric projects. There's working with vinyls like heat transfer and adhesive vinyls, all kinds of different options. Okay. So these are all here. To get to the ones that you want, you just have to kind of scroll down, and let's see, I'm trying to find the one we're doing here. It was down a ways, so I had to keep scrolling. Here it is, candy shaped gift box. Okay, so this is free. You can just go get this yourself by logging into your account. Okay, so I'm going to click on candy shaped gift box. When I click on that, it gives me, these are the 3 pieces of the box. So here's the big part that we'll cut out to fold and put together. And then there's a little scrolled piece that's cute. And then this is the drawn or the foiled piece. Okay. So those are the 3 pieces of it. And then if you go down a little ways further, there's going to be a movie. So if you click on that, it'll take you to YouTube, and Brother has videos on how to make all these little projects. So that's cool. And then there's they call it a recipe. It's the instructions. So there's a little PDF file. So if I click on this, it'll open up the little PDF instruction file so that you can make your project. Like I said, this one was originally supposed to be used with the foiling kit, but we're just going to draw today. Okay, I didn't use foiling because I didn't know if everybody had foiling or not. So I thought, and the foiling is fun, so we'll do the foiling sometime. All right, so that's one of the things. And then the other one down here, so these items up here are the 3 individual parts of the design. And if you click on this, can you see the little purple dots? I can either download it here, or I can actually open it up in my software. So I don't need to do that today. So what I did, instead of downloading each individual design, I actually scrolled down a little bit further. And then here's download all parts. So all of the parts are in a zip file. And then it brings them all down together, which is really nice. And then you can get all your pieces. And then I put the instructions in with it as well in a folder. And then I have a whole bunch of these. So there's just tons of these designs. And I'd encourage you, a lot of people have never really seen these, and there's so many cute things. Like I thought about doing this one. I've made this before. There's a rosette Christmas tree, and you cut all the little rosettes and fold them and glue them together, and it makes that little Christmas tree. But I thought it might take too long. Another one I've done is this little Santa bag, this little Santa gift bag here. And I've done this little Christmas gift box here. So there's lots of things. There's cards, all kinds of fun things. So these are really valuable. And if you're wondering, what can I do with my scan and cut? Go find a cute project, make a birthday card, make a bag, these little carrot gift boxes for Easter. There's Valentine's things and just all kinds of seasonal things. So go download some of these things and just try making things with your scan and cut. So I just wanted you to know that there's lots and lots of things to do with it that you may not have ever seen. So this is the online version of the software. So I just went on my browser, I'm on Chrome, typed canvasworkspace.brother.com and then logged in. Okay, so let me just log out of this now because I've already got my designs downloaded, just so you know. So I logged out. And if some of you are using I'm just going to keep sharing my screen just a second here. And if some of you are using the on your computer version of this software, you can actually access it also through here. So it says Brother Canvas Workspace right here. This is the little icon. If I double click on that, it's going to open up and again ask me to log in to my account. And I just don't like this software as well. It's fine, but it takes me a lot more time to do everything in here than it does on the online one. So there are some disadvantages to both of them. So now they've got this. What type of files are they? They are FCM files, Patsy. So that is the ones for the scan and cut. So these are all scan and cut files. So then these, again, here's that same list that you just saw, that you can also access these through the online version. So like here's that little Christmas box. We can click on there, and then here's the two little pieces, and then here's the video, and here's the little instruction sheet, okay, that you can download those items, okay? So you can get to these either place. I just really enjoy seeing these, and there are so many cute, fun things to do, okay? All right. So I have downloaded the little box. Let me go back here in a second. I have trouble with this program doesn't like to stop for me. There we go. So I downloaded my little box, and it was called the Candy. It's a candy box. Okay, so I did that, and I can show you what it looks like again on here. But I usually use the online version of this. I just like it better, and I find there are things that you can't do with this version. One of the things is use TrueType fonts. So sometimes I can't use TrueType fonts unless I use this version of it on the computer. So it just depends on what you're doing, what you like better. So what I did is I just scrolled down until I found my little candy box, and it kind of keeps loading them. So it takes a little bit. There it is. There's our candy box. So the candy shaped gift box. And I picked it, and then I just went ahead and downloaded those items, okay? Then we are going to make the little candy box. So if you give me a second here, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can move back to a camera. Okay, so yes, so Patsy, these are FCM files for the scan and cut, okay? And so we're going to do some drawing today. We're going to do some cutting, and then I'm just going to show you how to put this little box together. I thought you might get a kick out of making something quick for the holiday. And then if you do have the foiling capability with the machine, if you have the foiling kit and the glue and the foil and stuff, you can foil that little sentiment in the center is supposed to be foiled. So if you already have that, go ahead and do that. But we're going to draw it today. Okay, so let me switch my camera over here to the scan and cut. Is there any other questions so far? Showed you a little bit of the software. We don't go into the software too often. You get my camera mic on. Okay, all right, so here's our little box that we're going to make, okay? And I did a little bit of practicing last night. I didn't have a lot of paper, so I had some Christmas papers. We're just going to cut this out of Christmas paper. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do some drawing. So, a second here, I got to wake my scan and cut up here. Okay, and I've got my designs on a stick. So here's my USB, okay, over here on the side of the machine. You know, they're kind of over here. I'm going to put this above it so you don't get glare from the lights. So I'm going to put my USB stick back here in my machine. And we're going to do a little drawing. So the first thing I did is I have a couple different options for drawing. So if you don't have one, this is a universal pen holder. Okay, so the universal pen holder works real well with those fine tip Sharpie markers. So I have some fine tip Sharpie markers here. I have a green one and a red one. And I did a little bit of drawing last night. So these two are done with the Sharpie markers. These two, okay? There's a green one and a red one here done with the Sharpie markers. And then the little machines, the machines come with this little set of markers and a pen holder also. Now these do a very good job. There's only 6 colors of these. I wish they'd come out with some more because actually these do a good job of drawing. And so I did a couple in these as well. So here's the red and the green drawn with these markers. Okay. And I thought maybe today we're going to try two. I thought maybe I might actually draw one in black because I have a piece of black paper here that it might be kind of neat with the black. Okay, so here's the two that I did with these markers. And you can see it did a nice job. These are a little darker. Like this red's a little darker on my Sharpie marker. And so is the green. But I thought they both look very nice. Okay, so those are the ones that I drew last night. I was just playing around just to check the markers out, see what they did. But I think today I want to do red with I have some red paper and I have a black paper. So here's some red paper that I have that I thought would be a nice box. And I was looking at these and I think maybe the darker red. Do you think the darker red looks better with that paper? This is the one I did with the Sharpie. So I think I'll use the darker red on that one. And then let's try a black one because I have this piece of paper and I think maybe I might make the sentiment in black for this one and then do everything else in other colors. So we'll try a couple of them here. Okay. So I went home last night and I was just playing around. So I've got my mat. So I'm going to use a standard mat here today. And I've got a piece of white cardstock. All right. So here's just a piece of plain white cardstock. Take this off, and I'm going to put my cardstock. I'll put it in the corner. I think it'll be okay in the corner. And I've got my favorite tool. Okay, and I'm going to press this down a little bit. I don't want to put it too hard because this is a pretty sticky mat. But I love this is one of my favorite tools. This is my little brayer. And I like to just run over my paper with that just to make sure that it stays on, okay? So I'm just going to run, and I'm not going very hard with this because this mat's relatively sticky. Okay, and then I'm going to load my mat. And then loading the mat, we always want to make sure we bump this up against the wheels, okay, the rollers in the front. And then I'm going to put my hand in front of the rollers, and I'm going to click the little load button. Okay, and I'm holding this down so that it stays nice and flat. So it's very important for you to put some pressure in the center of this mat to keep everything flat while you're loading. Okay, so don't get lazy about loading and just like trying to shove it in because sometimes things happen then. Okay, okay, so let me get this tipped. I'm trying to keep the glare off as much as possible. All right, okay, so we're going to start with the drawing. So we'll draw the red. And I think I want to use the black in the other one. So we'll do red and black. So where'd my little stick go? Let's go retrieve the data. So when you're getting data from the stick, we're going to use retrieve data. And then I'm going to get my stick. So this is on my stick right now. And then here's the little file. I just put it on my stick. And then this is the box file. This is the little pretty little scalloped thing, this little thing here. And then this is the drawing file. So we're going to start with that one or the foiling, depending on if you want to foil it. Okay, so we're going to do that one first. And then, I'm going to hit OK. And I think I want to do two. So we're going to try two of them, but I think I'm going to do them separately because I want to change colors. So I'm just going to pull this up towards the corner. So I have room to put another one on here. Okay. Now, I want to make sure, I want my Be Joyful to fill. Like this one's all filled in with color. So I'm just going to make sure that it is going to fill. So there's a fill button on the machine. So if you get some letters that you want to do and they're just like an outline, if you really want it to be filled, then this is how you would do it. So I'm going to hit edit and I'm going to hit object edit. And then this little button right here that looks like a marker. Okay. This one is going to be the fill button. So you can turn that fill on and off here. Okay. And it was already on because this particular design was set up to be a fill by Brother. And when you download it, it'll automatically fill. but I'm just going to go ahead and make sure it's the fill I want. And then there's also different fills. So it's kind of cool. So here's a fill pattern button, and I can do a solid fill. I could do lines. I can do checkerboard. I can do diamonds, and I can do like little stars. So there's different kinds of fills that you can do. So we're just going to do the solid fill, I think. Okay. And I'm going to click OK. These are real narrow letters, so I think that'll work the best. So my fill's on, my fill pattern is my solid, and I think I'm happy with that. So we're going to go OK. Now that was turned on already. So like if I have regular letters that I want to do and I want to turn them on and off, that's how you would do it. Like if I click OK here, I can hit add. So let's say I wanted to go back and get some letters. I can show you how that looks when you go to do that. Let's just do like the letter A and B, just to show you what it looks like. These are going to be just outlines of letters. I'm just going to set those. So here's our A and our B over here. And I have them selected. They're red. And if I go to edit and object edit and then hit the little marker with the solid thing there, see this says fill off. So then if I turned it on, I could check my fill pattern. Okay. Let's say we wanted to do this one instead. And then I would hit OK. And then now if you look at this, I'll blow it up so you can see. See how this one is. Let's go over here so you can see that one a little bit bigger. Okay, so right now they're both that same fill. But see, can you see the little diamonds in the fill? Like that. So it is really cool, and you can fill in your lettering then. It does take a little longer for it to what do I want to say? It takes a little longer for it to draw out because of the fill in there. So we'll just make sure that this was the way we want it now. So there's our solid. We want it to be a solid, okay, because it changes everything on the same mat. So I had two things. So we want it solid. Okay, so I think we're going to be good there. Got that solid, yep. And then hit OK. All right, so now we've got our Be Joyful over here. And make sure my paper's down well. And then we're going to go ahead and hit OK. And I know that my paper's okay, so I don't need to scan because I know it's up here in this left corner. And I know I'm going to be fine with it up here, so I'm not going to scan this time. So we'll just hit OK. And then I'm going to hit OK one more time. All right. So the other thing that's been done with this design when it was set up in the software, and you can do this to your own designs too, if you have designs you want to draw and cut on the same design, you can set it up in the software for certain lines to be cut lines and certain lines to be draw lines. So what's cool now, when I say please select, let's say I want it to cut first. I'm going to draw first, but I'll show you the cut first because it's on the top. So see, now all I have over here is just the part that's going to cut. The drawing part disappeared. So I know what's going to be cutting. Okay. So if I go over here and instead of cut and I choose draw, now it's just the center portion that is going to draw that shows up. So that was set up in the software, and I do that occasionally because that works out really slick to have things you can cut and draw on the same design without having to have separate designs. So I really like that. Okay, so we are going to draw first. So I'm going to tell it to draw. And I need to get I'm going to take my regular blade out here. And we need to get our pen in this universal pen holder. So if you haven't used one of these before, sometimes they can be a little tricky. It comes with this little saddle thing, and it sets down in here like that. Okay, and I'm going to take the cap off of my pen, and I'm going to drop the pen down through the holder so that the tip, can you see the tip sitting down there on the bottom of that little saddle? Like that. And then I'm going to, you have to kind of push up and twist this thing to tighten it up. And then make sure it drops down again on that side. And I always check my pen to make sure that it's in there tight. These are a little hard with some pens that they don't like to tighten too well. These Sharpie markers work the very best in them because the barrel of the pen is very cylindrical. It's not tapered. The tapered barreled pens are much harder to use in these. Okay, so I think that looks good, like that. And I think it's tight enough. Feels pretty tight in there. Yep. Make sure my ScanNCut's all set up. So then we're going to take this out of the little saddle. We don't need the saddle. And we're going to slip this down into the holder like that. Okay. Then I think we're ready to cut or to draw. So we're going to draw first. So I've got it set up to draw here. Okay. I've got it set up to draw. Says it's going to take about 3 minutes to draw because it's going to fill in. So it does take a little longer. So we're just going to go ahead and hit start. And it's going to start drawing my little design here. Okay, so see, it's not drawing. So I'm going to stop it because my pen must have shifted. So that sometimes happens, and that's okay. Just quit drawing. If that happens, just tell it to quit drawing. Yep, it shifted. See, it flipped out. I have 2 of these. One of these is a little better than the other one. So if that happens, sometimes it does to me. And it always happens on camera. It's Murphy's Law, I think. Okay, so we'll try putting it in again. See if we get it tighter. These usually work pretty well in these, but I do occasionally have trouble getting them to drop down and stay put for me. Yeah, I think it's in there pretty tighter. I have 2 of these, and one of them is a little tighter than the other one. Okay, so let's try it again. All right, got it in there. I'm going to tell it okay, and we'll go back to the beginning. See, it tried to work over there, but okay, so let's try it again. All right. So then let's say please select. We're going to please select up here. Draw. Make sure everything's down well. And then I'm going to hit start. So let's see how it goes this time. Let's see if it'll draw for us today. There we go. I think we're cooking with gas now, guys. All right, so we're going to have a red panel. And then what we're going to do without moving this, we're going to then go ahead and cut it because we can cut on the same design then. So then it's kind of doing the outline first. And I noticed that my pen must have had a little dark spot on the corner. So I'm probably going to go just redraw that very first little part just to get it a little more red looking. My pens get used a lot, so sometimes they have some color on the ends of them. So this is really fun. So then we're going to use this one. So the other holder just holds the little pens that come with your machine. So if you only have these pens, you don't have any other pens in the other pen holder, you can sure use these. There's a green, a red, and there's a black. So we're gonna try drawing this in black too. So I'll get the black pen ready. I love this. I actually like these little pens. They draw really well. And this little holder comes with the machine, and you just push in on the back of it, and it flips open like this while this is drawing. And then there's a little cap on the pen, and I'm just going to take it off, and then it drops down into the little holder like that, and the whole thing stays in there. So it really is a nice holder. But then they give you a little spot on the top to put the cap so you don't lose your cap. So it just sits on the top like that. And we'll put this one in, and we'll try a black one too. So I like these little pens. I just wish they'd make more colors, because I actually use these quite a bit. I don't have as much trouble with these like moving in the holder, because the holder is very, it's holding the pen completely down so it won't move. And I have a little more trouble sometimes with the universal one, depending on my pens. It's getting about done. That's going to look really pretty. I might have to draw that one little side over again, though. We'll back up and do it one more time. It's getting about done, but it does a nice job of drawing. Anybody have questions so far? Do you understanding what I'm doing? And this design's all set up for you, so all you have to do is download it, and you can just do this right away. All right, so there's my and there's a little black spot over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back over, and I'm going to click draw again, and I'm just going to draw out the first circle because it was in the first circle that it didn't look quite right. So I'm just going to go over it one more time, and that'll kind of make it a little bit more red. And then I'm just going to stop it. There, so I'm just going to hit the pause button. And I think it's okay, and I'm just going to quit drawing. Okay, so I just went over it again because now it looks a little more red over here on this corner. My corner wasn't very red over here. Okay, so now before we move anything, we want to cut this out so we have that nice cutout too. So I'm going to take this out. Okay. And then I'm going to get my regular standard, the black standard blade. So this is what we're going to cut with. This is the auto blade. So I'm just going to put it in the machine. And now, remember I told you that the machine knows that it will also cut then. So I'm going to click please select. And I want to cut this time. So this time, see, the words are all gone. It's just this outline that it's going to cut out. So I'm going to hit start. And then I'm going to let it cut out around there. And it's perfect. It's perfectly centered and everything. Yes, I did try. Actually, I bought some metallic pens last night, but I could not find any Sharpie metallic pens that were these little ones. I only had one place to stop last night. And I did not find a Sharpie that was metallic, and I bought a different brand, and the tip was so thin, or I'm sorry, so thick, it didn't draw nicely. But if you could find metallic Sharpies, these fine Sharpies, and I know they have them, I just couldn't find any last night at the last minute when I was thinking about this. Okay. So yes, so the metallic pens would really look nice. I would say buy these fine line Sharpies because the tips are harder. If you get markers that have real soft tips on them, they kind of squish in the machine. So I like to use these Sharpies, and these really work the best for drawing. But they do make metallic Sharpies too. Okay, so now I've got this all set up, and I'm going to leave that on the mat for right now, and let's do a second one. But I'm going to move it over. All right, so we're going to go back to the beginning. Well, let's see. We don't need to do that. Let's hit back. And we're going to edit. And I would like to move this over here on the other side of the one I have. And I want to make sure I got it in the right spot. So I just kind of pulled it over, but then I'm going to go back and I'm going to scan this to make sure I don't hit my other design. So that way I know I'm going to be not going to hit it. Pull this back a little bit. So it's going to scan and let me know where my design is. And what I really wanted to do with this was to show you how to heat emboss with embossing powder. But we don't sell all of that stuff here. And I didn't know how many of you would have that stuff. So I thought we're just going to draw instead because I love to draw with this machine. So we just went with drawing. Okay, so now I know I just pulled it over. I can see my other design. This is the scan, and I know this one's not going to hit it. So we're good there. So we can kind of move it right there. Okay, so now let's do the other one. Let's do this one in black. So we'll get our other little small pen. I'm going to take the blade out, and we're going to draw again with the other pen so you can kind of see what the other pens do. And we're going to hit please select, and we're going to draw first. So normally when I draw and cut on the same design, I usually draw first and then cut. So I'm going to hit start. So now we're going to draw, and I've got my black pen in there. Let's see how this one does. So this is one of the little brother pens. I've used this black one quite a bit, so I hope it's okay. I need to get a new set of pens. These are my original pens that came with my machine, and I used my pens quite a bit. But I really like the Sharpie, the thin Sharpies. The bigger regular Sharpie markers will not fit in this universal pen holder. They're too big. I do have another pen holder that I purchased that works really well for all of the pens, and so I also have that. And that one will work. There's one that will work with the big, the big thick Sharpie markers, the thicker ones. But these have tips that are stronger and they're harder. So these draw really well on the machine. I've tried quite a few different pens, and some of them do really well and some don't do very well. So you kind of have to experiment a little bit and just try some pens to see what works. If you have trouble keeping it in your universal pen holder, sometimes the barrels are a little more tapered. What I do is I take like paper tape and wrap it around the barrel, and it's kind of sticky, and then it goes down into the holder and holds it better. So that helps if you're having trouble keeping your pens in the universal pen holder. They do make a narrower one also, but the pens have to be really small to fit in that. So I actually don't own that one because most of the ones I have fit in this one with a little assistance sometimes. Okay. One of these days we'll have another drawing class, and I'll show you my other pen holder that I found too that I really like. So it's a drawing. I like these pens though. These little ones that come with your machine. They do a good job. And the little pen holder, everybody gets it with their machine, except maybe the mass marketed ones don't have it. They might though. All of the dealer machines have it, and then you get all 6 little pens plus the water soluble ones. So, all right, so that black one's going to look pretty good, I think. Looks good, and then we'll cut it. But isn't it cool that you can cut and draw on the same design, and everything stays all perfectly lined up? That looks nice. So then we're going to go ahead and we'll take the little pen out, and then we'll put the blade back in. I'm putting that standard blade back in, and then we're going to cut out. I'm going to hit please select and cut. And now, of course, the lettering disappears, and it's just the cutting file. So I'm going to make sure this is good and stuck down here. We'll hit start. Okay, so I'll put my pen away, and these come out like this. I have not seen anything. Well, Brother has some other markers that are for the calligraphy that you may have seen those, Barb. They have calligraphy pens. So those are like full-size markers, but they have a special, actually a special holder for those. So you may have seen those. That's the only full-size markers that I've ever seen Brother have. These are the only ones that I've ever seen other than the calligraphy markers. And then there's like a glue pen with its own special holder for the foiling. So, okay. So now I think we're ready to take these off. So we got these all cut. So I'm just going to pull these off here, the outside part. And then I think my mat's a little sticky, so hopefully they'll come off. So usually what I do is I kind of I pull my mat up this way a little bit, and then things come off a little bit better. I'm going to unload it and see if I can turn it over. Sometimes my mats, I just redid this mat, so it's a little sticky. Just be careful when you're pulling them off. This one's being cantankerous. There we go. There's one. Got that one. Come on. Usually if you just kind of curl it, they pop off. But this one was pretty sticky. I just restuck these. Man, there's one. Got that one. See if this one will come off. This one doesn't want to come off. There it comes. I did rip a little bit on the back, but it'll be okay. All right. So here's my 2 sentiments. Be joyful. Okay, so I got a black one and a red one. So we'll put these up here. And then we're going to, let me get this piece of paper off here. We're going to let's cut the box next. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to load my mat back in here. It's easier for me to put my paper on. What did you redo your mat? Oh, I don't have it with me, but I use, when I clean them with baby wipes to make, at first, that'll make them stickier. If you clean them good with baby wipes, let them dry. But I usually use Zig 2-way glue pen is what I use to restick my mats. It's a big pin. It's about this big around. You can get them at like Hobby Lobby and places like that. And then I just paint the whole mat with it, and it's like a repositionable sticky. Works really great. And they're blue, and they're by that EK Tools, the company, EK Tools, and they usually have them at Hobby Lobby and Michael's and places like that. But you want the great big one. It's like a 1-inch, big, huge marker. I didn't bring it with me today, so. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this is what I want to cut my box out of. Now this is actually two-sided, so I kind of like the black side, so we're going to use the black side. And I've got a red one. We'll cut a couple of these today. Okay, and I'm going to use my little brayer just to kind of make sure it's on here. And this is going to take like nearly the entire sheet, just so you know. This box piece is a pretty good size sheet, so I just want to make sure it's stuck down so it's not going anywhere. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to go get my other piece. And Barb, I have done a video on my YouTube channel. If you go to Sew Along with Jan and then my YouTube channel, that's my YouTube channel, and go to the playlist, Brother Scan and Cut. There is there's one under Shields Live. So if you go to Shields Live, there's one mat cleaning and resticking video there that I just did maybe a few months ago. And then there's another one in the Brother Scan and Cut playlist. So there's two playlists, one for Shields Live. So you'll find one there. But I showed doing that. I actually did it on Shields Live here a few months ago. So you can see me cleaning the blades and cleaning the mats and resticking the mats. So, okay. So I'm going to go ahead now. Oops, I want to hit my little house button because we want to go get a different design. So we're going to retrieve the data from the stick, and then I'm going to go get my box. So let's go get the big box. So this is the box. That's the A design. And see, it's going to take nearly the entire mat. It fills the whole mat. So I'm going to click OK. And I think we're going to be good where it's at. Might pull it up just a hair like that. Okay. Because I put my piece of paper basically fills the whole mat, so we should be good. And I'm going to click Please Select, and we're going to cut. Okay. I've got my regular blade in there, auto blade, and then we're going to start. And it's going to cut. It takes a few minutes to cut this. But it's cool to watch them cut because this one has some fold lines in it, so it cuts the fold lines in too. So it's going to start cutting. And then we'll cut out a red one. I've got this pretty red paper. You like this one? I think this one's pretty. We'll do this one too. These are all two-sided. I don't have too much Christmas paper. I need to go get some. After Christmas, I'll go buy some Christmas paper. All right. These are really fun to make. I enjoyed this. And if you just need and it's a pretty good size. I mean, you can see, here's my hand. It's pretty good size. You can get, gifts in there. I mean, they're pretty good sized anyway. It was a lot bigger. It was funny because when Judy came in, she says, that's a lot bigger than I thought it was. And it really is. I mean, you could, put jewelry in here. You could put candy. You could do all kinds of stuff with those little boxes. Sometimes the best things come in the smallest boxes, right? All right, so it's going up the side. And we'll cut a couple of these. I brought a bunch of, okay, so now see what it's doing, going up and down. When you create designs in the software, you can actually have it do the fold lines. So that's what it's been told to do, is make a fold line there. So that's why it's going up and down. So it's just making like little dashes here and there, so you can fold on it. And like in the software, there's different widths of the dashes too. So it's kind of neat. But these are fun to make. And I did a couple of the other bags. I've done those over the years, and this is a good place if you just, like I said, if you're like, we're getting some snow supposedly, just go find yourself a fun project to make, and make some cards or make some boxes, some bags with your scan and cut if you've got paper at home, you know, so it's kind of fun. I do need some more Christmas paper though. This is all I had left. I thought this one was cute with the little holly leaves on it. And I like black outlining things, so I actually made this black instead of one of the colors. Can you get it okay? Yeah, she just has to pay the 2 parts plus tax. Sorry, we have a customer coming in, so. All right, it's getting close. It takes about 5 minutes to do this part. And then we'll do the 2 little things too. I may just cut this one, and then we'll cut the two little pretty things to go around the outside edge, and then so I can show you how to put the box together. I don't want it to go too long, and I'll cut my red one later. I wanted a few Christmas boxes because I thought this one would be pretty too. I forgot this one took about 5 minutes. I was busy doing other things while it was cutting it last night, so I wasn't paying attention to how long it took. All right, and let's see, what color should we put behind on the black one? Should we do red or green? Anybody have an opinion? I've got green paper and I've got red. Maybe red? Would the red be pretty with the black? How about red? If you have any opinions, let me know. Red, okay. I kind of think the red too. I like the red. And I thought on the red I'd put green. So, but I wanted to show you how the other little markers did. The other markers do a nice job. Okay. All right. So then we'll take this one off. And it even has the little tabs to put it together and everything. So it's really cool. Let me get this off of here. And then I just kind of flip the, it can't score because it doesn't have that ability. It's the dashes. If you could bring it into the software and like take the dash lines out, and then you could score it yourself with a scoring pad. Barb, if you'd rather do that. The machine with the blade in it doesn't have the ability to score. It doesn't score by itself. So it doesn't have that little scoring nib, you know, that you can use for that. So okay. Then let's see, we got one more thing to do. We got to unload my mat here for a second. Get this out of the way. And then we decided red. So let's do the red for we're going to do the little scalloped edge here. Okay. And we're going to load this back in. And remember, put your hand over the top so that it lays flat in there, and then it will load nicely. Okay. Then I'm going to go get that other part of the design. Remember, there was 3 pieces, so I'm going to go click finished. I'm going to hit my little house and then retrieve my data from my stick, and then we're going to go ahead and get the little scalloped edge. Here's the scalloped one. So we're going to do that on the red. Now I know my paper is going to be okay, so I'm just going to move it over just a little bit towards that corner because I put it up in the top corner. And then we're going to please select and cut. Okay, so there we go. And then I'm just going to hit start, and we're going to cut the little scalloped edge using the same blade. All right. It's thinking. There we go. So then it's going to do all these little scallops. So it has all these little pieces to come out all the way around here. I think this will be really pretty. And then I'll show you how to put it together. It's real easy. I've got some fun ribbon here. I think I might do, I think maybe even the red ribbon. What do you think? I've got different ribbons here. It's going to look real cute. I like the red. So yeah, I think you might be able to do, yes, sometimes the scoring with the blade, I agree. Sometimes it makes it break the paper. This is not a super, super heavy paper, so it is fine. All right, so I'm going to pull this up. Okay, there's our little scallop, and then I'm going to kind of flip this back, and it just comes right off. All right, but I think if you would take the, isn't that cute? But I think if you would take it into your software, you might be able to put a take those lines out, and then you could score them manually with a score pad. So that would be another option. I have never tried that, but I think that would work. I've altered designs lots of times. Okay, so we got all of our little pieces here. Okay, so here's this. We're going to put the, I'm going to make the black one, so I'm going to put the black one in here. What do you think? I think I'm going to turn this over. And we're going to put that in there like that. Okay, you think that'll be pretty? So I have my new little toy here. I have an Easy Runner Grand. It's got tape in it. It's for paper crafting. And I'm going to use that to tape my center on. So let's see here if we can get this. I have a little trouble with this, so don't laugh if I get it crooked. This is the hardest part for me, is to get these straight on here. Okay, I'm just going to stick it down to the red. Okay, so we got that. What do you think? That look pretty decent? Okay, we'll lay that up here. And then the box, I gotta get a hold of it here. Now this, I didn't have any trouble with this like bending too much. These are scored. So I want the black to be on the outside. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna fold these on the score lines. Okay. And like that. And then there's these little tabs out here too. Like this. And then these then have little score lines, and I don't know if you can see them. There's little score lines here, but I want to move these back like this, because when I go to fold them, see how they're kind of folded in on themselves. So we're going to fold these kind of in like that. There we go. And it shows this in the video that they have too. I watched their little video. They have a nice little video for all these little projects. So if you can't figure out something. And the one thing I really want to make, and I'm going to have it done before next year, they have the cutest little Advent tree. It's an Advent calendar that's got boxes. It's made with boxes, and you make 25 boxes, and then you make it into a tree. So I'm definitely going to do that before next year. I was going to do that today, but I thought it'd be too much. And it's getting closer to Christmas, so I thought maybe you'd need a box instead. So let's make sure we get those done. Okay. So now with these little tabs, you get a little piece of paper here so I don't get it all over my scanning card. I'm going to lay a piece of paper under here. So these little tabs, I'm also going to run some of my tape runner along those. Get this one out so you can see it. We're going to put some tape runner on here and on here. And make sure you put something under, you know, so you're not doing this right on your scanning cut, because you don't want your scanning cut to get all sticky. I have like a glass mat that I work at home. Okay. And then we're going to, Judy, can she wait a few minutes? I'll be done in a minute. So, all right, so we're going to stick this together. So here's my tab. And we are going to line this up and push it down real well. And then we'll get these little tabs on here. them all lined up like that and stick them together. Okay, so there's our box. Now the box, that I'm going to put that little spot where they go together on the bottom, and I want to put my little sentiment. I'm going to put my little sentiment on before I put the rest of it together so I can kind of press down on it. So we'll put this on here. Let's turn it over. We'll put some tape on the back of this. And let's see if we can get it kind of where we want it. How's that? Tape that together, about right there. That looked good. Then I'm going to press down on it like that. So what do you think? That looked pretty good. Looks pretty centered, I think. And then we're going to push these together. So as you can see, when I folded them, see how they they look like a candy wrapper. I'm just going to slip these together, and let's find some ribbon here. What do you think? Maybe green ribbon, huh? Should we try some green ribbon? I don't have any scissors back here, so forgot my scissors. I'll go grab some real quick, but we'll make our ribbons here. So I'm just going to take some ribbon. We'll do green ribbon. Oops, here. What have I got on my ribbon? There we go. Must be some glue. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to pull this out so I have a little more ribbon. All right, so tie it up. And you can tie it fairly tight. And then, of course, what you want to do with these, you know, make them so that you can get into them, because what you do is you tie the one end, okay? So you'll tie the one end. I'll go grab my scissors real quick. And then you'll put your item that you want to put in your box, in the box. And then we'll tie the other end shut. Let me grab my scissors. Forgot to get my scissors. So then I'll take this off. We'll make our ends prettier. There we go. Got my little kindergarten scissors. You like those? They're actually pretty sharp. Okay, so there's one. And then I put my item that I wanted to put in. Let's put these together. Whoops. Got something stuck to me. And I kind of have to fold those a little bit more, and then we'll do this end. But I just wanted you to see that you could go find all of these free, really cute free projects. And a lot of them are paper crafting, just because a lot of the gals that Brother hired are paper crafters. But, you know, isn't it fun to make little things, and then you can put your sewing friends' little gifts in something made with paper. So, and I'm starting to make cards and stuff, and I'm actually really enjoying that. It's just something different, and I can use my scan and cut. All right, so what do you think? There's our little box. Isn't that fun? And I'll make the other one too. I'll make the other red one, and I'll put a picture of it up on the Facebook page. So what do you think? I thought that was really fun. And this would be really pretty foiled too. So, or a heat emboss, that'd be another thing you could do with it. So here's my two little boxes, and I'll make a third one and take pictures of all of them and put them up on the group. But isn't the scan and cut fun? I love the scan and cut. You can do so many fun things with it. And it's just something that's very versatile, and you can do more than just cutting fabric with it. So, okay, so I haven't decided what we're going to do next week yet. Let me change my camera here quick. And my microphone so you can hear me. And I'm not sure what we're going to do next week yet. I think we'll have a class next week, but I haven't decided. Did you get the directions from... Oh, so Jan, you go to canvasworkspace.brother.com, and when you log in, all of these projects come in or come up in a list, and it's in that list, and it's called the Candy Box. Okay, so it's called the Candy Box, and this is a free Brother design, and they have all kinds of them. I mean, go look, because they keep putting new ones up all the time. So there's just tons of these cute little projects. So, and you can and I just thought that would be a fun little project. If it gets snowy, then you can make some Christmas boxes to wrap some presents in over the next couple days and have something fun to do with your scan and cuts. So, all right. So thank you so much for joining me today. Merry Christmas to everybody. Stay safe in the snow. It sounds like here in Iowa, we're going to have some bad weather. So stay safe in the snow, and I will see you next week, and we will find, I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. I'll think of something that we'll do next week. I'd like to get the edge to edge quilting with the machine, but I don't have a machine right now. So I don't have a machine here. So that's why I didn't do that today. I have to wait till I get a machine in again. So, but I will see you next week at 2:00 on Wednesday. Thanks, everybody. Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.